She declared it loud and clear. I don't like them. I don't want to know them. And with that, Janelle Brown didn't merely terminate a relationship, she destroyed the illusion. What's playing out in Sister Wives Season 19's Tell All Part 2 transcends standard reality television drama. This is the entire breakdown of a family that previously seemed grounded in religion, harmony, and mutual commitment. But when three wives walk out, the larger question is made clear. Was it ultimately their failure, or was the design flawed from the start? Hello everyone, I'm Sarah, and welcome back to TLC's Next Updates. Whatever you started watching Sister Wives for, or when you just got caught up, you know this show has changed. It's not just plural marriage anymore. It's about survival, identity, and the strength it takes to confront the truth. And this week, Janelle doesn't just discover her voice. She lets it speak freely. The hurt, the disappointment, the revelation, it's all set before us without fear. Meanwhile, Kody and Robyn are glued in place, emotionally numb as everything falls apart around them. Robyn's reaction to being referred to as the sacred cow of the family is blunt. I don't care. It wasn't a dismissive wave of the hand. It was cold and calculated. The tension is not just cringeworthy anymore, it's unnerving. Before we dive further into this emotional aftermath, don't forget to subscribe for further updates. If you're sick of the superficial spin and need the whole story, you're in the right place. And this specific story is sure to make people talk. Let's rewind. For years, Janelle was the quiet one. While Christine complained and Mary openly struggled, Janelle held things together. She avoided the spotlight, were practical, and hardly ever cracked emotionally. But something shifted. And it didn't shift slowly. It shifted overnight. The Janelle we see today isn't conflicted. She's not arguing, she's finished. When she is asked whether she would stay friends with Kody or Robyn, she responds without passion, she wouldn't. She doesn't enjoy being around them. She doesn't want anything to do with them. It's not spoken out of spite, it's spoken out of sheer clarity. There's no need to pretend anymore. No middle ground left to stand on. She also speaks about her regrets, particularly about marrying Kody. She claims that had she spent a year with Kody before tying the knot with him, she may never have gotten to it. A statement such as that doesn't come easily. It comes from years of reflection and the understanding of just how much was lost in trying to keep everything together. Seeing her finally say all of this is like seeing someone emerge from being underwater for years. She's no longer covering for anyone. She's no longer concerned about saving face. She's finally speaking out for herself. And in doing so, she's also speaking out for others who've been in the same boat, lingering too long, waiting for things to get better. Janelle's evolution from placid supporter to unflinching truth-teller tells it all about where this family truly stands. This is not merely a breakup. This is a turning point. And there is no turning back from here. Then there's Robyn. During one of the most awkward moments in the tell-all, the host asks her if she has any feelings about being referred to as the sacred cow. Robyn shrugs, utters, whatever, I don't care, and leaves it there. No explanation, no feeling, just detachment. It's not the nickname. It's what that name symbolizes. For years, viewers and family members alike commented on how Robyn was shielded in ways that no one else was. While she attempted to paint herself as both a victim and an intermediary, her actions consistently did not match up. And now, when the family is imploding, her estrangement is louder than anything she might have spoken. Where does that leave the Browns then? In the middle of a tough, painful wake-up, there is heartbreak, there is honesty, and ultimately, there is truth. This isn't some cruel reality show twist. This is a profound, undeniable change. And once that kind of truth is revealed, nothing can ever go back to the way it was. She doesn't fight back. She doesn't justify herself. She just moves away, quiet, removed, leaving it to Kody to be crushed by the weight of the moment. And Kody? He's not the same man he once was. He's leaning more than ever into a persona Janelle hardly knows. She says it flat out. This man is a stranger. She recalls someone different. Someone less heartless, less defensive, less bitter. The man she observes now is a stranger. And Janelle has a hypothesis. Perhaps this iteration of Kody isn't really real. Perhaps he's acting the part of the bad guy intentionally. A diversion to take the spotlight away from Robyn, the wife who's ever been protected. When she tells me, There's no venom, only uncertainty, suffering, bewilderment. She's questioning aloud, seemingly, if the man she used to love is still present somewhere inside. And as an audience, it's difficult not to wonder the same thing. Kody's tone is aloof, defensive, his language is brief, his voice icy, and his stance guarded. It appears he's constructed emotional barriers so high that even his own children can't surmount them. This isn't change, it's transformation. He talks like someone who feels like the world is out to get him. And perhaps, in his own head, it is. But what's more sinister is how Kody and Robyn seem united in their withdrawal. They don't fight, they don't wince, they just stand there, motionless, emotionally unengaged from the destruction in their midst. But that immobility doesn't smell like toughness. It smells like denial. It's the kind of quiet that smacks over everything breaking in pieces beneath it. And although they might believe they're drawing a line, the silence between them tells all. Meanwhile, what's remaining of the family observes from afar, attempting to make sense of how things would go wrong so utterly. And what makes this tell-all the more heartbreaking is the surrounding context. These interviews weren't conducted in a vacuum. They were conducted following the tragic death of Kody and Janelle's son, Garrison. That loss looms over each word, each look, each silence. You sense the sorrow in the room, even when no one utters his name. For Janelle, that sorrow doesn't remain concealed. It's remolded her completely. You can observe it in the manner in which she talks, with distinct boundaries, crisp realities, and no allowance for the habits that silenced her in the past. Losing a child alters everything. And for Janelle, it seems to have washed away the final veil of denial. Her voice in the tell-all isn't merely resolute, it's absolute. This isn't reality TV drama. This is what real grief looks like when it's done pretending. One funeral moment remains in the viewers' minds. Robyn participated in the burial, allegedly joining the ritual of putting dirt over Garrison's casket. On the surface, it was a dignified gesture, but for people who know that there was tension between Garrison and Robyn prior to his death, the action was not right. To some, it appeared aloof. To others, it looked fake. The scene doesn't linger. But Janelle's response in the tell-all speaks volumes more than anything ever could. Her anger at Robyn has intensified, but it's not furious. It's cold, exhausted, as if something inside of her finally shattered that day. She doesn't blame. She doesn't weep. She just is done. And for anyone who has ever experienced loss and felt alone, that silent pain is far too recognizable. It doesn't shout. It bubbles. What's most striking is that Kody never mentions Garrison. Not in the aired scenes. Robyn doesn't either. Their silence, once again, is impossible to ignore. And compare this to Janelle's distance, which feels not only understandable, but necessary. She's not only grieving her son, she's grieving the illusion of a family she fought to keep. And now she's choosing herself, choosing peace. That funeral was goodbye to Garrison, but for Janelle, it was also goodbye to hopes of reconciliation. Something shifts inside her, and everyone observing can sense it. You don't have to scroll long on Reddit or Twitter to see what fans are saying. The reactions aren't split anymore. They're united. People are standing with Janelle, not just because they feel sorry for her, but because they see themselves in her. Her honesty, her clarity, her refusal to pretend, it resonates. She finally said what we've all known for years, one Reddit user wrote, and that says it all. The response to Janelle's words isn't applause. It's a change in the entire dialogue. Audiences are no longer on the fence. This tell-all didn't provide us with backstage gossip. It provided fans with validation, all that they suspected all this time. Favoritism, manipulation, emotional disconnection. It's being said finally by someone who experienced it. Janelle's voice has transmogrified beyond that of hers alone. It's become the audience's voice. And the support, it's rolling in like a tidal wave. Big media have noticed. Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, and US Weekly are all shining a light on Janelle. Not Kody, not Robyn, not even Christine this time. It's Janelle, the woman who used to quietly exist in the shadows, now in the spotlight. And people aren't just observing anymore. They're taking sides. No one's cutting Kody any slack. That misunderstood story? It's done. Viewers know it for what it really is now. self-absorption, emotional detachment, endless dodging. And as for Robyn, her casual whatever isn't flying as innocent disinterest. It's being interpreted as standoffish, distant, and totally oblivious. People are reading between the lines, and the message is loud and clear. Janelle's not the only one who's done. This tell-all not only exposed the cracks in the family, it sparked something among the fans. They've years ago screamed at their televisions, angered. Now, for the first time, someone from within the narrative is uttering those truths aloud. And when those words are said, there's no unstating them. Next is one of the most silent, most poignant moments of the entire special. Janelle, unruffled, speaks a line that hits like an emotional earthquake. If I'd had a year with Kody, I'm not sure I would have married him. That single sentence does not merely convey regret, it's an epiphany. In that instant, decades of shared experience unravel. This is not merely about second thoughts, it's waking up to a truth buried for years beneath sacrifice, a religious obligation, and false hope. In polygamy, particularly the manner in which it happened in the Brown family, all was rapid. Repeat marriages, religious callings, and decisions made on behalf of the group, not the self. Janelle at the time probably thought she was getting into something spiritual, something decided by faith. But now, in retrospect, she's evidently tallying up what she lost. Her independence, her voice, her peace of mind. That moment of realization does not come with fanfare. It arrives silently, potently, with the kind of truth that only materializes when you've desisted from attempting to make a fairy tale happen. The one sentence turns the entire show around. Immediately, Sister Wives is no longer a show about the success of plural marriage. It's a cautionary tale, a warning regarding what transpires when you get lost pursuing another person's vision. Janelle's confession isn't a private moment. It's a turning point, a whispered rebellion, an act of bravery. Because sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is not to stay. It's to confess that you should have left before you even started. And that is a truth. That profoundly human truth is why so many are relating to her at this moment. At its essence, Janelle's story is more than reality television. It's a reflection of something pure and honest. It's about the courage to leave behind a life that no longer belongs. It's about telling the truth when silence has seemed easier. Her experience peels back the veil on what polygamy truly cost, not emotionally, but personally. And at the back of all the production and attention, it's a story many can identify with. And then, quietly, there's Mary. Not with a big speech or dramatic departure, but with a solo journey that is louder than words. Her step is not loud, but it is potent. It's the quiet act of taking back her own story, of telling herself, I'm choosing me now. Sometimes moving on doesn't necessarily mean leaving people. It means releasing the identity you believed you had to hold on to forever. Thanks for riding with me through all this. If you felt the punch of these stories like I did, don't forget to subscribe to next updates on TLC. I'd love to hear from you. Whom do you relate with most? What do you think's actually going on behind the scenes? Leave your comments below and let's keep the conversation alive.